Hi, welcome to Stay Fresh, the fresh produce industry podcast from FruPro. My name is Felix Lindsell and I work at FruPro doing communications, and I'm here with Will Hill, the founder himself and CEO. Yeah.
Hi Felix. Just like to start by saying thank you for this help, and I'd like to thank Beryl Chick-Legill. I hope I'm getting her name right. Thank you, Beryl, and our marketing team for making this podcast happen.
Nice. This week we're going to be talking about networking events and how networking is changing for the fresh produce sector, or perhaps needs to change. And you recently attended Fruit Attraction in Madrid. Could you tell me a little bit more about it, maybe your experience there as well in the past?
Yeah, sure. So I've been to the last 8 Fruit Attractions. I think it's been running for 10 years, so I've been to most of them. And this was the second year that I took the FruPro team with me, And the fair takes place in central Madrid in the warmth of the early Spanish autumn.
Lovely. Sounds very nice. What happens there? How does it work?
Originally, when I started to attend, it was predominantly Spanish businesses at the event, but now there are businesses from all over the world. So you have thousands of exhibitors, growers, importers, exporters, all centralized in one big conference hall, and there are a lot of meetings and stuff like that going on. So it's just a big gathering of that community.
Lovely. And was it nice to see everyone sort of back together post-COVID? There's been a lot of separation in the industry, I imagine, in the last few years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of the highlights was seeing the community back together again. And it was good to start to see a lot of different age gaps being bridged as well. So we had people, from older generation, people who've been in the industry a long time, and some new generation people coming through. It was good to see people coming back into sort of connectivity. There was some really good talks at the show as well, which really gave us an idea of what innovations were coming through. And yeah, it was a super successful for connecting with new and old partners.
Nice. On that note, can you tell me a little bit about the sort of traditional industry relations? So if you were to take an old fresh produce relationship, what's it kind of like in our industry?
So traditionally, it is a very relationship-based industry. Getting together in Madrid, sitting down, having some tapas and some coffee or wine, that's just a way to build or forge even old relationships. It's a touch point, which is very useful. But despite the importance of face-to-face, it is very costly, and it's very time consuming, and it does have a heavy impact on our carbon footprint. So, however, I believe that networking is going to start changing going forward.
Okay, nice. So that's sort of looking into the future at the new fresh produce relations. But why would you say fresh produce is so important, and maybe particularly now more than ever?
Well, everybody in the world eats fruit and veg. Therefore, the fruit and veg supply chain affects everybody. We sit at a crucial time in history where change is not only necessary, but is also very possible. So connecting that supply chain, we need to be more efficient in doing that. And I think as we see production costs rise and the population rise, we're going to have to mirror that with a more effective supply chain to match and catch up. Every other industry does seem to be a little bit further down the line or moving to a more online model, and it seems the fresh produce industry needs to get to that point. It's being slightly left behind. So that's where I see it moving to. Me myself, I've been in the industry 19 years. I have a family history of over 130. So I really understand, and I really get the importance of tradition. I do get that. But at some point, the facts pile up and we can't ignore them. So networking in the community needs to be easier. It needs to be quicker. And I think that while we will maintain face-to-face events, an online networking and communications channel is essential going forward.
Okay, that makes sense. So how do we bring the industry up to date then?
Put simply, one digital platform for the whole B2B supply chain. So that's been the motivation for me for FruPro. That's why I designed this platform. It was allowing us to bring that very traditional community online and facilitate their core networking and trading features and functions on there for them. So as a new generation of traders comes into the industry and we build an online web store and an online presence, it's essential that we don't lose the bread and butter of, the face-to-face traditional old relationships, but we must move forward, and we have to do that together as one industry and bring ourselves onto the online world as it goes forward, because like it or not, that is going to be the future of all industries.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess the way I kind of see it is an event like Fruit Attraction is brilliant, but you need to have that kind of community space online where you can talk instantly. Everyone else communicates instantly, whether it's with your friends or family or whatever. So
absolutely,
to create that online space that mirrors those important events and allows you to foster those respectful and human relationships with people is brilliant.
Absolutely. I mean, for us, if you're going to be staying a part of the fresh produce community, that should be easy. You should be able to feel confident in using technology to communicate and feel confident that this is a move in the right direction. And we're building this for the industry, by the industry, and want to make people feel part of that. Our users are part of the journey, so that's hopefully going to bring comfortability in the change across to a more online presence rather than just relying on physical, highly costly relationships.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. And on that online note, people can find us on social media, FruPro World on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And you will get updates about when our podcasts are coming out. We'll be getting some industry leaders to share their thoughts, some other heads of our company who have got equally great insights as Will does. So yeah, check us out on those social media accounts, and if you haven't already, take a look at frupro.com to find out more about building your business online and saving your company time. And remember, stay fresh.
Thanks, Piers.